Wait, my cow, Michael. How did I never realise that? Oh my days, that's so... Dear viewers, I'm very slow sometimes. Hi guys, welcome to Hobbit Hole Books. My name is Matt, also known as Miggins on Twitter, and this is my booktube channel where I cover film and TV and books and anything that interests me. Thank you for coming along, joining the ride. The chaos and madness absolutely reigns here. And today I'm going to be talking about the absolutely amazing book Ruin by the delectable Mr. John Gwynne. There you go, there's a better look. Look at that beautiful cover. Look at that cover, guys. I'll probably put the digital one up just to show you how really beautiful it is. Now, how this is going to work, this is my first kind of proper review for a book. I'm going to do a brief spoiler-free talk, and I'll put the time codes down below so that you can skip it if you haven't read all of Ruin or you haven't even started the series. I'll keep it as spoiler-free as I can, but please be aware that some minor spoilers may slip through. And then I'll do a little bit of a deeper dive into the meatier stuff, the juicy grit right in the middle of this book. For all you fans out there who have already read and loved the series or are currently reading it like myself. Later, Miggins forgot that he didn't really talk about what the book was about for all those spoiler-free people. So in a spoiler-free way, I am going to do a sort of 30 seconds review of what this book is actually about. The series. Keep making mistakes. Love it. One day, in the kingdom known as the Banished Lands, there was a prophesied god war. On the one side you had the bright sun. Ta-da! And on the other side you have the black star. Together, they will fight the prophesied war, the God War. Kadoshim, the devilish demons of hell, and the Ben Elim, the angels of heaven. In Ardan, a young farm boy by the name of Korban does not realize what fate has in store for him, and that will turn his life upside down. But is he the prophesied bright star or the black sun? Find out in this series. So we're going to skip ahead to Ruin. They're having the God War and people are fighting, and there's giants and tigers and bears. Oh my! Except there's not giants. Sorry, there are giants. Gonna do that again. So we're gonna skip ahead to Ruin, and this God War is going on, and it's like chaos, people dying, unfortunately, and lots of war and kingdoms being taken, and you have giants and tigers and bears. Oh my! No, well, you have the giants. You don't really have bears and not tigers at all. But you have drakes. They're like giant wolven thingies. They're cool. If you love animal companions, this is great. So basically, prophesied God War, bad guy, good guy, demons, angels, clash, giants, giant wolves, found family, chaos, betrayal, magic, mysticism, and twists and turns galore. And that's all from the Miggins show today. Thank you for watching. So to start off, what did I think of this book? I think it is absolutely true that when people say John Gwynne gets better each book, it really does. You know, this is probably tied from my favourite John Gwynne book with Malice, which is book number 1. I know guys, don't get the pitchforks out. I am a bit of an outlier. You know, I so often see people go, oh yeah, Malice, no, it's great, but you just got to get past Malice, you know, it's a bit slow. And I'm like, what are you on about? This is a great book. We had so much. I love Veridus's story with Nether, and I've forgotten what his name is. That was a great story. I really recommend Malice if you want to start off with a great series. You know, some people do say that it is a little bit on the slower side. I myself didn't find that, but as we all know, I am a bit of a weirdo. This was absolutely tied with Malice for my favourite book, and like I say, it's very, very true that John Gwynne gets better with his writing in each novel that he puts out. So this isn't necessarily saying that each book, the plot's necessarily better, or that it does get more kind of extensive as it goes, as you'd expect with a series like this in the high epic fantasy tradition. But more in the sense that his writing strengthens, pacing definitely strengthens as he goes along. And you know, John Gwynne, he really starts to hit on the emotions as the series starts to go on, which is really exciting to see. And it was one of my favourite parts of this novel, this kind of really, I'm trying to run the words, but just awesome mix of grit and action and battles and blood and war, but also that foundation of heart, of family, of found family, of animal companions, of new friends, of old friends, of blossoming relationships. This book really has it all. If you're a classic fantasy fan, this will be one for you. All of John Gwynne's amazing abilities, and he really has an incredible ability to spin a yarn. You know, John's the kind of guy I'd love to go for a drink with in a pub, and I feel like he'd get his mead, and he's got like his Viking hat with the helmet, so he'd be telling the tales. There were a few issues that I did have with this book, right? And keeping it spoiler free, as much as the emotions, and he keeps pushing into them, which is really, really good, I wanted more. You know, it was kind of like, please sir, can I have some more? You know, that kind of thing, and it did stand out to me, because not in a way that I was kind of like frustrated or upset about it, but in a way that I was like willing him on, that I wanted Gwynne to push further. I was cheering him on, and you know, there's lots of moments in this book where you're gonna cheer, you're gonna whoop. There's one moment particularly near the end that, if you've watched Alan and from Library of Alexandria and Abby Salter, Petrik Leo and Dr. Chase and Alex Nieves, and they do some great discussions. So if you're reading the books and you're reading along, you want to hear some other people's thoughts other than my zany craziness, then go check them out. They're really great. I'll put the link down below. But Alan said this one moment, he talks about how he really kind of, you know, you'd feel like you go to war for this guy. You want to be part of their war band. And I really felt that. And it's those moments of uplifting emotion that really work. And then it really kind of shines a light on when it doesn't quite get there. When maybe it's just me personally, but I'm just like, I just want to go a little further. Like, you're so close to making me cry, John. You're so close. You know, it's almost like I just want to be there, like over his shoulder, like, just keep more emotion, John, more emotion. But you know, I mean, apart from that, I love this book. It's not my favourite series of all time, I'm gonna be honest, but it is one of the best series I've read recently outside of the Cosmere, and I'm so glad that I picked it up. And each book, like I say, does get much better in the writing. Not that it starts off awful, it starts off great. I mean, Malice is tied for my favourite in the series at the moment, but each book he does improve on his writing style, and that's really a joy to behold, because you know that each book you're going to get something even more than you got out of the last one, and he really keeps the tracks racing. Once you get past Malice, he really keeps the foot on the pump. This is no, these aren't small books, these are chunky boys, but it's also a really fast-paced series. And so for those of you who are a little bit hesitant to get into a big series with big books, because you're like, I kind of, I don't know, I've been burnt by the wheel of time. I don't like these long books with loads of description. John's your guy. You get the epicness of the wheel of time with the big battles and things, but within a much more condensed space. So go check it out, you know, and stick around. I'm going to be talking about my spoiler-filled reviews just now, and I'm going to be talking about all the emotions, everything. Did it make me cry? Well, you're just going to have to stick around, because at the end, I'm going to put a live video. Yes, a live, well, it was recorded live at the time of my reaction to the ending of Ruin, and it was a half an hour raw recording. Don't worry, I won't subject you to that mess. I will edit it, but I'll put the best moments for you. So stick around for the spoiler review. I'll also put the time code for my reaction, so if you just want to skip ahead and watch that, then please do. But also, please, if you're leaving us now, comment down below who's your favourite character so far, or what do you think you're going to read this series? What do you think this series might be like? What excites you? What kind of fantasy are you into? Anything, comment like that. And also, you can tell me how terrible I am at this if you want to, because I know that I am. So any advice is much appreciated. But now the spoilers have arrived. It is your time to depart. Thank you for joining me. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff. But stick around for the spoiler-filled review right now. Now we go on to my spoiler-filled review. I've got my energy pumping. I'm like, you ever seen that cat? I'm going to show you the cat. Thomas Riley, if you're watching, your cat better be doing this.
Finding the people around, too many for them to...
Where are we? We are in Ruin, and it follows in the aftermath of Valor. And I mean, oh my days, what an ending that was, right? I mean, you have like these demons from the other world just come and like absolutely crush and destroy these people, giants, and take over the Ben Elim, and, well, not the Ben Elim, this is why you should do reviews after you've read it. The Jehar, like these awesome kind of, I've got elven vibes from them, but they're not elves, but they're kind of elven, like, think kind of like Lord of the Rings elves, but not elves. So I'm going to stop saying elves before people get confused. Anyway, that ending, that was just chaos, and it's like, what? And you're left. John Gwynne does cliffhangers good, and I love a good old cliffhanger, and not just because I like rock climbing, even though I'm scared of heights. We were just left in this chaos, and everyone had kind of converged in one place, because a lot of the narrative of Valor had been sprawling, but they were kind of all in that one place at the end of Valor. Then they kind of scatter again, and it's interesting because you got Corbin and Idana, who I said in my written review, which I'll post down below, the link to on Fantasy Book Critic. It's basically they're kind of like on the same path, but they take different directions. So for Idana, her arc was interesting because it was all about, well, they were both about becoming leaders, and Idana kind of embraces that, and she becomes this fierce, well, she always was, but she embraces her fierce warrior queen aesthetic. I got kind of like Boadicea, Phillip's gonna correct my pronunciation on that, I'm sure. Boadicea vibes from her, and that was awesome to see. And there were some great moments in that story with, what was his name? Was it Pendragon that came back? And I was like, whoa, that guy was cool. And there were some great moments in that with Evnis and his son. And that moment they got at the end, I was thinking that Evnis' son, when he comes at the end and they get that moment, and I was like, yes, that was one of those emotional moments for me. Didn't make me cry, but I was listening to like emotional music in my earplugs, and it was a good moment. It was very cathartic, and I was like, yes, Gwyn, you got this. And then Evnis got hit, but we didn't see him like officially die on screen, if I remember correctly. So who knows? Von, that's it. Von, Evnis and Von, Yvonne. That should be the name of like the dance crew if they ever do it. Yvonne. Anyway, that was one great moment, and that whole story, kind of them starting off a rebellion and creeping around in those swamps and stuff, and deciding not to keep running, to fight, to take a stand. That was a big moment in this saga of the Banished Lands. And then on the other side you have Corbin, who follows a similar trajectory, but he's like trying to still run away from his destiny. He's like the blooming road runner. He still can't decide. And this book really, I mean, the journey he goes on is probably the biggest of all. I mean, just generally across the series, but even in this book, it's like from the beginning he's a very reluctant leader still, and then by the end I'm like, I would fight for you, my liege. Like, I would go to war for you. That moment that I referenced earlier when Alan was talking about, where it's like truth and courage, like for the Banished Lands, I'm like, yes, this is what I want out of a book, out of an ending. If Gwynne carries on in Wrath with, like, I mean, fan service isn't always good, right? But in this case, it was great. You want those big fist pumping, whooping moments, and we got those. And it was great. Then Queen Rin kind of took a back seat. Nether, he kind of dipped and dived. But really, that kind of story was about Veridis. I keep wanting to say Veridis, but Phillip chases Veridis, so I'm going to go with the professor. Well, doctor. I don't know the difference. Sorry, Phillip. So, Veridis has been one of my favourite characters from the start. Unlike, I keep referencing Alan, but I mean, Alan's great. Go check out his channel, Library of Alexandria. I'll link it down below. Veridis has been one of my favourite characters from the start. He's, you know, with Nether, it's like, I don't feel sorry for him. Maybe, like, at the moment that he got told, obviously at the end of Valor, he had that big revelation that, oh my goodness, I'm on the wrong side, right? And maybe if at that point he'd walked away, I could have brought a redemption arc over Ruin and into Wrath, okay? But now he's like, no going back. Whereas Veridis, he's like, from the start, he's just been this young, well, he's not, he started off as quite innocent and young, and he's just been like this, he's been very naive, that's the word. He's not innocent, he's like leading like the battle chief of Nether's armies, or at least the general. But he is naive, and he hasn't seen, or he's kind of dismissed, but you can tell his heart is good. His heart is not in this evil, and I really, you know, it's a real tie between Veridis and Mackin for the title of favourite character. Talking of Mackin, I mean, guys, what could I say? This book, Mackin and Phillip, Fidele. Mackin and Fidele. Their story in this, what? Did anyone expect that? What? it was just... I did not expect... I mean, I expected that when I saw it at the start. I was like, okay, I know where this is going. But if you'd asked me at the end of Valor, is that going to happen? I'd be like, no. You're crazy, why? And their love moment, their love story was one of the highlights of this book for me. And that was one of the moments when Mackin, when he nearly went over the bridge, oh my days, I nearly cried. That was one of the moments I was willing to go on and push a little bit further, because that was so intensely emotional. And in a sense, I do wish he'd pushed it just a tad further. But it was really working for me, and you know, before this, Mackin, he was alright. He wasn't my favourite character. Veridis was definitely there, but now Mackin, you sir, yeah, I can't wait to see what happens to him in the next book. You know, when he dies, when he dies, I'm gonna go up to my wife and be like, you know, I need a sick day for trauma. Same with, oh my goodness, the ending. You guys are going to watch my reaction to this at the end. Oh my goodness. Storm! No. She can't be, okay, I'm holding the hope here. We didn't see her die on screen. We just heard her cries. The animal companions in this series, my heart, like, you know, I'm not that emotional guy. I like my emotions in the book. It does take me a little bit to get there, but when it does, it really hits me. And the animal companions as a whole, Storm, Craft, what's the other? Well, the one Storm and Craft, they're kind of like my two favourites. But particularly Storm, I'm very attached to because we've based Budai, Storm and Budai. And those two we've kind of been following from the start, really, of Malice. So when they die, and inevitably they are going to die, it's going to be a sad day indeed. We'll have to hold a moment of peace in memory of them. So I look forward to that in my Wrath review. I said in my review that the pacing in this book is superlative. You know, people talk about Valor being like, it's kind of like the train started to go and the tracks are being laid down furiously in front of the train. It's just 10 miles an hour. And I didn't like that too much, I'm going to be honest. I mean, it was a great book, but I missed some of the slower moments of Malice, some of the more character moments. I did miss that. And this kind of blended it a bit more, which was a lot nicer. You got those fist-pumping moments. I mean, the giant fight, the fight where Halen escapes. Anyway, you know what I mean about Graham's Hold. Graham was a great character. Was he introduced in Valor? I can't remember. I did read this book in two halves. The first half I read probably about November last year to January, and then I kind of stopped for a couple of months, so the memories are a bit fuzzy, but I have got my review here to help me. And there are so many POVs. I mean, we haven't even talked about Lycos. I want to burn that mother alive. I mean, anyone who reads this book and identifies with Lycos, I'm calling the police on you. Lycos is I don't even need to talk about it. There's reviews going on, but Lycos, yeah, just John Gwynne has made this character so unlikable. But also, I love getting to his bits because I wanna see his end. I wanna see his grisly, gruesome end. Please give me it, John. Please. There's so many POVs. I mean, you have this budding romance with Corbin and Coraline, and it'll be interesting to see that flourish. And I mean, at the end with who is it? Was it Daft that gets married? I mean, where did that come from? But the fact that it all fits together so well with all these multi POVs is just incredible. It really is. It holds. It shouldn't hold together, but it does. It does, and it works really well. Which is why when it doesn't work quite so well, that it does stand out. So, I mean, like I said, it was just sometimes the emotions were, I wanted to just keep pushing a little bit more. And like I said earlier, it's not out of a dislike for it. It's out of a genuine desire to see John succeed even more than he already is. And he's already great. And I mean, he doesn't need advice from me. This is just my personal opinion. He's a fantastic writer, and I could never dream to write as well as he could. But it was coming out of a place where I had a lot of goodwill, that I was willing him on because I wanted to see more of that emotion, see more of what he's so good at. And then there were a couple twists that didn't work. The first one was Veridus' brother. I can't remember his name. Hector. That didn't work for me. That out of nowhere. I'm sorry. That didn't work for me, right? But there was other twists like Michael. That really worked. That shocked me. I remember I was like sitting on the toilet like, oh my god. It was crazy. So it's a book of 3/4 really. 3/4 of it was really, really well. Even more now. It's a book of like 90%, I'd say. 90% of it was really amazing, exactly what I wanted, growing stronger and even better, and giving me those moments I wanted, moments I didn't know I wanted, and characters I didn't know I wanted together. It was great. And then there was just that last little sort of 10% that when it did kind of like speed on a little bit too much for my taste, that did show up for me, but it didn't ruin my enjoyment of it. And like I said, it's a great series. Fantastic. It's not my favourite, I'll be upfront about that. You know, I do like classic fantasy. There are other favourites of mine. You'll get to know them, particularly The Cosmere and We Break Immortals by Thomas Howard Riley, as well as Silent Gods by Justin Cool. Other ones like that. You'll get to know them. But this is up there. This is really up there. It's really well written, really tightly written and woven together. And I cannot wait for Wrath. We'll see when I start it. Probably, was it the end of May now? Probably start it at the end of June. Maybe. I'm really enjoying Curse of the Mistwraith at the minute. I'll talk more about that in my video of my monthly wrap-up, which, to be honest, is going to be so long. I have so much to talk about. Excuse me. It's probably going to be a week of weekly wrap-up videos in parts. I'm very excited to talk about that and talk a little bit more about Ruin if you guys want me to in there. Anyway, before I go, please enjoy my reactions. I'm going to speed up. Obviously, I'm not going to make you watch half an hour. This video is long enough already. But I will show you my reactions to Ruin and the ending. And you got to stick around, wait to see, did I cry? Did I actually cry? See if you can see the tears. Who knows? You got to watch it. You got to stick around. And thank you guys for watching so far. Even if it's on like 2% speed or whatever, you know, I do that as well. I'm just grateful to have all the support. I will be putting up either 100 subs special video as a thank you, talking about the channel and some stuff, or I'll do it in my monthly wrap up. Please comment, like, subscribe. It really helps keep the channel going. Please share with your friends if you like it. You know, I just want to interact with you guys and have fun. And I'm really having fun making this. I hope you appreciate my silly humour and little bits. Please, yeah, comment down below. What was your favourite moment? What was the most shocking moment? What worked for you most? What are you most excited for on Wrath? What should I watch? What would you recommend that what spoiler-free thoughts would you give to recommend what I might look out for in Wrath that I would like? And yeah, thank you very much, guys. It's been awesome. See you later.